the Oregon Twilight meet won by Yared Nuguse in typical Nuguse fashion. Look at this finish. Look at the lean. Nuguse over Cooper Teare.
Yeah, I've said everyone has been on the Hocker train. I even almost switched back to the Hocker train when I updated my rankings. But Hocker, with his times he's running, with the indoor double, I was just like, but there are two guys out there who can maybe beat him in the 1500 and the 5K. And that is Yared Nuguse in the 15 and Luis Grijalva in the 5. And we got to see our first crack at one of them, and that was Nuguse, and he showed up. I had a feeling that Nuguse wasn't going to be 100% because he delayed his race, but it looks like he just wanted to get an opportunity to run at Eugene, get an opportunity to race against someone like Hocker so he can kind of size up where he is so he knows what he needs to work on. And he comes out, and it's like, he's a definition of pausing, right? He was the best of the best at the end of 2019, and now he's still there. People wanted to give the crown to someone else because Nuguse decided to just not run, but his DNSs should not discredit his ability, and now he is the 1500 meter favorite, and now I would argue he's the qualify for the Olympic team. He's a top 3 favorite in my opinion, right? If we were putting Hocker in that category and we're seeing everyone running 336, he only ran 335 high, but I think Nuguse. Would you take Nuguse over a kick against Josh Thompson or Craig Engels right now? I would.
I said it before. He's got that Wheating 2008 magic to him, where he's had that for a couple of years, so it's hard to say he's just 1 year of Wheating, but he's got that Wheating 08, 09, 2010 feel. When he gets to the end of a race, you expect him to win, but Hocker has that too. Strength on strength when it comes down to the last 100 meters. I just want them both to get the stand. I don't want to be doing math, man, in June. I don't want to have to be looking at your rankings. Yeah, I don't want you to text me about world ranking points. And I don't want to get that text. I want to just have them both have the standard. I want to be able to watch that race.
It's going to be fun.
I want to block your text. I want to watch it just focusing on top 3. That's what I want to watch. The cool thing is, though, we're going to get them NCAAs, though, too. We get them there. So we're going to get to see this a couple times.
The odds of Nuguse getting the standard are kind of rare now, right? But how many 1500s do they run at the trials? Is it 3? Is it 3 rounds?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's assuming he does the 1500 at ACCs, right? He's going to have 2 at ACCs, 2 at prelims. He's going to have 2 more at NCAAs, and then 3 at the trials. So he's going to run 9 more 1500s plus the one he just ran. So he has 10. He's going to have 10 1500s under his belt, a bunch of them being prelims. He just needs to make sure of the next 9 1500s, he needs to run maybe 4 of them in the 338 range, and he should be fine ranking wise.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's what we need.
What do you think about?
He can't run them all in 345s.
Yeah.
Teare?
What do you think about Teare? Like runner up in this race, but do we see him as a 1500 guy, a 5K guy? I feel like if I was trying to make the team and I was good in both, I'd probably lean to the 15. But he seems like a 5 guy.
He did win the mile against Hocker, right? Teare,
what do you mean?
When they ran the indoor mile?
Oh, the collegiate record? Yeah.
So Teare won that. In a way, if you think about it, we keep on thinking Hocker as the miler and Teare as the 5K runner, but maybe they're opposite.
Yeah.
Because when Hocker races Teare in the 5K, he beats him. But when Teare races Hocker in the 15/mile, Teare beats him. So it could be a little switcheroo that we could be getting. Maybe we see Teare run the 1500 at the NCAAs and see Hocker run the 5K.
Yeah. I think because Hocker won the NCAA indoor title in the mile, that's why we associate him with mile greatness, even though you're right, he has finished behind him now in 2 really fast races. It's exciting between the 3 of those guys. And farther down, do we have the results? I mean, it was fast all the way through, everybody came to play. It would just, I take credit for things I get right. So I'm going to say I definitely got this one wrong because I had 2 people breaking the collegiate record and no people ran the collegiate record. But it was good. It was good top to bottom. Just wasn't quite collegiate record worthy. Josh Kerr, his mark, lives to see another day.
Yeah. Any other things happening around the NCAA? Not much, because next week is conferences. Which, speaking of that, the Big East champs live on Flow. Get that ready. Here we have the results from the Oregon Relays 1500. Yeah, obviously Hocker there, 336. Ryan Adams, 337. Charlie Hunter, 338. Talon Franco, 338. Dolan, 340. So, hey,
everybody's about a second off. Second or two off.
There's depth, man. There's depth in the 1500 this year. A lot of guys are running in the 339, 8, 7, which is good. And remember, they're college kids. They're not professionals who are paid to fly around the country to run fast. These are just college kids, and they're running the same as the pros.
Here's the thing that I think we should remember when you're talking about Hocker, Nuguse, or whoever needs to run this many 338s in the prelims or in these meets. I just think that's going to be the last thing on their mind. Even when there's a standard, like a clear standard, we've seen this in Olympic trials. And then you ask them afterwards, well, you knew the standard was 335. Why'd you guys go out in 62 or whatever it is? Just wanted to race. I just wanted to get out there and race. And I knew the chances of doing that is like, forget all the complicated math with the world rankings. Even if it's a cut and dry, hey, they need to run this or they don't go, we don't see people do it. So I just doubt that they're going to have a time number in their head, even if it's really like, how much would it really take out of Cole Hocker or Nuguse in one of these prelims to just cruise like a 339? Probably they could get through on that, right? I mean, it's an honest race for sure. I'm not saying it's a walk in the park, but just remember how easy Hocker did in the prelims at indoors, cruising that time well below 4. But I just don't think they're going to put that in their head. I think they're just going to run. Yeah. So they could run a 4:10, or they could run they're going to go with the pack. Well, they can run a 4:10, they can run a 3:40.
Yeah. The advantage that Hocker has is this is his 3rd elite performance, right? Because he has the indoor mile. He ran a 3:38 in Eugene like a month ago, and then he has this. Whereas Nuguse only has 1 elite performance. So Nuguse needs to run 3:38 4 more times, whereas Hocker only need to do it twice. And I guess you'd hope that, And the question is likely that, I mean, maybe the trials final goes fast because there will be other people in the race who are like thinking 334 or bust, and that might help them. Right. But it is going to be interesting. Maybe could you see a Nuguse or Hocker or Teare skip their conference meet?
No. Oh, I bet you say skip NCAAs.
No, conference meet.
And try to run
and try
run
again.
Run like it's like at the track meet or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but
they probably won't though. Yeah.
I just wonder how much these coaches are looking in at world rankings. I wonder, besides you, who's actually paying attention to this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think if a coach is smart, they got to recognize, hey, I think Oregon coaches say, hey, I have 2 athletes who can make an Olympic teams. I think I think Carlson, Notre Dame's like, I think Yared can make an Olympic team. I would be a bad coach if I didn't give him every opportunity to make that Olympic team. Like, who cares if he wins another ACC championship? Like, all right, cool. 10 points. Let's get this guy. Like, I could see maybe the prelim of ACCs. Maybe Carlson puts in like every freshman rabbit he can find and enters him in the 1500, and they turn that prelim into a time trial where they have a guy going through 1,200 meters and dropping out. Like, that could happen. And maybe he runs 334 in the ACC prelim time trial.